In this video, we're going to go over a powerful feature you have inside of the CMP called Cloud Analytics Reports. Cloud Analytics Reports gives you instant visibility into your Google Cloud costs and AWS costs and allows you to slice and dice this information any which way you want so that you can make better sense of your costs. To access this feature, click on the Cloud Analytics icon on your left-hand navigation bar inside of the CMP. And you'll be taken to this main screen where if this is your first time using Cloud Analytics Reports, then you will likely see only reports that were created by your team members that were made public and preset reports, which you can see here under the type column. You can see that these are preset reports. Preset reports are there for you right from the beginning. They allow you to get a quick jump into Cloud Analytics Reports, and you can clone and customize these as you wish as well. So what we're going to do is open a report called GCP Service Costs Per Day to get started. The first thing I want to point out here as this report loads are these chips right here. So these chips allow you to analyze every billing dimension for AWS and Google Cloud. The most important chip, I would say, is this cloud chip. This lets you select which cloud platform you'd like to analyze. And you can, of course, analyze both at the same time. But in my case, I've selected Google Cloud only. And this is important because it affects the values that appear when you're trying to filter the rest of these chips. So if I want to filter the SKU chip, because I selected Google Cloud, I only see Google Cloud SKUs. So that's important thing to note. As mentioned in my report, I'm looking at my service costs per day in GCP. And so what I've done is I've dragged the service chip here to this group by / breakdown dimension area. And what I've also done is I've filtered this chip. So I've selected all of my, I've selected all these values. And what I want to do is I want to limit my results to the top 10. So I've checked this box. You can, of course, also exclude the selection, exclude what you've selected as well if most of what you selected is not relevant for your report when you're filtering. The last type of filter that you have here for a chip is this advanced filter. This allows you to use regex to filter for anything really. A primary use case that we see for this is for projects. So sometimes you may have a standard naming convention for some projects. Maybe they all start with dev, or they all have someone's name somewhere in the middle of it. That's where this regex can come in handy, but there are other use cases as well. Next, what we're going to go over is this left-hand section of your Cloud Reports screen. First thing we'll cover is metric. So metric determines sort of how your report is displayed. So in our case, we're looking at GCP service costs, and so my cost selected is, or my metric selected is cost. You can also look at usage. So if you're want to look at your service usage in terms of the units used, you would drag the units chip and make sure your metric is usage, and you'd have your usage in the group by. And lastly, you have savings here, which is savings as a result of your commercial agreement with DoiT International. Next up, we have aggregation. So aggregations help you summarize patterns in your reports so that you can pinpoint things more easily. What I'll do is I will actually view this in a table format because it's easier to use aggregations that way. And also I'll pick at random, I'll pick percent of column. So here I can see that Compute Engine represented just over 25% of my costs on October 18th. And so you have many options. You have percentage of column, percentage of row. So in that case, we'll see how Anthos in this case is spread out over the last 30 days, etc. So that's how aggregations help you. And then as you see, I'm using this view as dropdown. This allows me to select my chart type. Oops, I want to select that. Next, we have ML features. So ML features help you dig deeper into your cloud costs, or in this case, into just your reports in general. For that, to demonstrate that, we'll switch to another report here. AWS, this is AWS costs in my last 30 days and in my next 30 days. So as you can tell, we're already using one of these ML features called Forecast. Forecast allows you to, or helps you predict your cloud spend into the future according to your report's configuration. And what I mean by that is that if you select the last 30 days as your time range here, then we will project 30 days out what we expect your cloud cost to be, given what you've selected. So AWS, and I've selected I've selected all but 2 services. As you can tell, I'm using the exclude selection here. But in addition, we also have other ML features like trending up and trending down. So this helps you identify trends in your data. It's especially useful when you have lots of data points. It's really great for separating the signal from the noise. So what I'll do is I'll actually switch this to a line chart, and let's see if we have anything trending up or trending down. So if I select trending down, I can see already 2 services I've identified as trending down over this time period. Trending up, I just happen to have none. So ML features are very useful, as you can tell. And lastly, you have this time interval dropdown and currency. If you want to view your costs, in this case, in a different currency, you have that option right here. Before we finish up with this video, I wanted to point to 2 chips and highlight them. The first is this labels chip. So labels includes both Google Cloud labels and AWS tags. So I just wanted to point that out. And here, this attribution chip. So attributions are another unique feature inside of the CMP, something that you can use in tandem with your cloud report. So attributions, and we have a separate video explaining this, but attributions are a flexible way for you to group resources and their associated costs and help you understand your cloud costs even better. It allows you to group things in a very customizable way. And so you can use those in your reports as well. Another thing is if you wanted to export any of this, so exporting is also available in this view as dropdown as a Sheets export or a CSV export. And lastly, these reports wouldn't be useful if you couldn't share them with other folks on your team. And so here we have a share report functionality. In my case, I'm not the owner of this report, so I can't share. But you can share reports with others. You can, of course, download the chart images to the chart image to PNG or PDF, or even view it in full screen if you'd like. And lastly, this is useful for you and for anyone who's viewing the report and may want some additional context. You have this little collapsible window on the right-hand side that you can uncollapse, and this shows the report configuration. This helps someone understand what filters were used and how this report generally was constructed. So that's about it for Cloud Analytics reports. I invite you to give it a try and let us know how we can make it even better for you.